Alright, we're going to talk a little bit about the Hovercam today. When your Hovercam is on and you click open your Flex 10 software, you of course will see immediately live what's under the camera. And you have three different toolbars available to you. One is an archive toolbar, which shows you your history of snapshots and videos that you've taken. One is an annotate toolbar, which has different options for annotations. I'll cover that in more detail in another video. And the other is your bottom toolbar, which has all of the options that you can use with your camera. Some of these here I'll talk about separately. On this video, I'm going to pretty much cover the ones on the right here, starting with freeze. Freeze is when you click it, what's under your camera is no longer live. It keeps it to whatever you froze it on. Perhaps you want your students to view some directions while you're getting the next thing ready. Maybe it's a quiz. And then when you unfreeze, boom, there's your next item live under the camera. View, you can change your view if you need to rotate something. Mirroring it, mirrors it, exactly what it sounds like. Pip is picture in picture. You need two cameras for that to work. What it would do is put a small image of what's on the other camera inside the big image of what's under the Hovercam. And then you also have full screen. Full screen, exactly what it sounds like, takes away all the extraneous outside image there. Zoom, you have a zoom feature right here on the toolbar. And this camera zooms and keeps pretty good detail. You also have zoom feature on the camera itself. There's two buttons with magnifying glasses, a plus and a minus, so you can zoom on the camera itself. You don't have to use the zoom feature on the toolbar. Focus feature, there are three different ones. You have autofocus, autofocus lock, and selective focus. Autofocus will continually focus while you're using the camera live. That can sometimes be annoying if you are trying to write under the camera and it's focusing every time you're moving. In order to stop that from happening, you will choose autofocus lock. That'll lock in on one focus so that when you're working under it, it isn't consistently focusing in and out while you're working. Selective focus, pick one area of your item to focus in on, and it will focus directly in at the level that is. So those are your focus features. You have a control tab here, and you can adjust your brightness, contrast, saturation, and color levels with that if you should need to do that. Cropping feature is kind of interesting because you can crop up to two items here. There's my first crop. If I press the control bar on my keyboard, I can make a second crop. And you can take snapshots of those crops once you've got them, so you can highlight out certain features on an item that you have under the camera if you want to. So that's the cropping feature. And then we have settings. There are four different tabs under the settings feature, and some of these things you can change and some you can't. On the camera feature, you have some different resolutions that you can change to. On the scan feature, you can scan with different extension formats, even including PDF. On the recording feature for video quality, you can change a few things with that. You can't change the extension format on that. You only get WMV, which is the Windows media file. And then you can choose where your pictures and videos are archived when you save them. The default here is the Hovercam folder on the hard drive of the computer, but you can choose Browse, and you can pick a new place if you so wanted. All right, those are the basic features of the Hovercam. I'll cover split screen, slingshot, snapshot, record, and multi-scan, and annotation features in a different video.